What is going on, everyone? Wally here. This is going to be a bit of a different video, and it's going to take the slot of this weekend's lore video. Now, if you've been a part of my channel back during my Planet Destiny days, immature, I used to stand on my mythical soapbox. You'll know that I was once very opinionated about Destiny and how Bungie was going to go about releasing information and content. And this isn't going to be a return to that. This channel is about creating content you want to watch, not content I want to force feed you. While some of the soapbox stuff was well received, it did damage to my channel and put me in sort of a mental, sort of like screw the YouTube stuff, a rut, if you will. I have no intention of returning to that. So when I say this is just an opinion piece, I mean that it is rare and not going to be the new standard. So with that disclaimer out of the way, let's get into this video. In an article by Forbes, we get the first-hand knowledge that we will no longer have the third-party resource on Bungie.net in the form of Grimoire cards. As Steve Cotton stated, paraphrased by Forbes' Eric Kane, the answer to that question is no. And the reason it's no is because we want to put the lore in the game, Cotton told me. We want people to be able to find the lore. All the story is told through adventures. It's told through the characters in the world. It's told through the campaign. It's told through scannables you'll find throughout the world. And to be fair, that sounds like an answer many in the Destiny community actually wanted, but it also sounds like an answer many of the more hardcore in the lore community did not want. I'm going to try to give you points on each side and then let you be the judge. And to be frank, no Grimoire is never going to change my content or how I do it. The Grimoire has always been a part of these lore videos, but it's never been the defining end-all be-all for them. And without targeting anyone in this community, I feel that this new course of action opens the door for new lore content creators to get new perspectives out there. So let's start with the first point, and probably the point that many of you will agree with. The fact that the lore should be tied into the actual game universe. And when I was a product manager working on an OBS tool designed to help streamers, the number one most important thing that I learned is that everything you do should keep users engaged in your product. Anytime they had to click off or use another tool that served a more efficient service, we lost that user. In the case of Destiny, if you want to keep your users engaged, you need two things: solid gameplay and quality immersion. Destiny's shooting mechanics and various loot avenues make it accessible game on many fronts, but its one lacking feature was a world that could be understood by the average player. And as much as many don't wish to admit it, games are made with the average player in mind, not the hardcore. But the largest complaint I've had with Destiny 1, especially when starting out my adventure with the lore, was that while these videos are awesome, and while I heard that all of these videos are awesome, a lot of people used to say, I wish this was in the game, or I'd hear comments, but if this was only in the game. Now I'm paraphrasing, of course, but a multitude of comments were like that, always stating the same underlying issue. This should be in the game. And I agree. Specifically to the point that you shouldn't need websites like the Ishtar Collective or Destinypedia to even begin to grasp the Destiny story. Expanded universe elements, fine, but you shouldn't have to go to community third-party sites to get a basic understanding. And now that we're entering Destiny 2, and this issue has been course corrected, I've seen many in the lore community cry havoc. And while I don't disagree with their passion, I think that they are looking at this content distribution before the ingestion of the average user. And here's what I mean by that. If I ran a website that was constructed to better navigate the Grimoire of Destiny and its intricacies, and then come the sequel, that one foundation I depend on is removed, the obvious outrage is justified. What I don't agree with is the fact that many people have spoken for me, stating that it will be harder now to create content and my videos will come with less frequency. And while it will be harder to create content, going back to Destiny 1's approach to lore is not going to be better to serve the average player. And at the end of the day, that is what my videos are all about. I'm willing to guess that 50% of you come in and watch these videos. You don't go into the Grimoire cards at, say, the depth of reading all of the Books of Sorrow. And for the right reason, that's a huge time sink, and it's not something in the game. So you watch me and channels like mine to get a better idea. Some of you may be very interested in Destiny's lore, even to the point you call me out on my mistakes, which, to be clear, is honestly very welcome. The only way I learn is through that. But you still aren't the majority of the overall Destiny community. So the bottom line, putting lore in the game, if they actually deliver the same depth of the Grimoire into the universe, is a great thing for me, you, and everyone else. But that's sort of a big if, and the whole show lore button is not leaving me super content, but still, I haven't even seen or played the game yet, so I'm gonna go ahead and give Bungie the benefit of the doubt, at least for now. But here's the counterpoint, and the largest issue a lot of the community has been presenting, and to an extent, I get it. The argument is that the Grimoire really fleshed out the world and provided extra lore that did not take place in the game. The Books of Sorrow, the story of Dredge and Yor, these are examples of extra lore, not having a real place in the game, but being so well loved by the community that it makes the game that much more interesting. What happens when the Grimoire is gone? Do we lose the storylines of, say, Lysander and his Concordats, Scene 14, Tolan the Shattered, because they don't fit in Destiny 2's story or world? I feel like that's a loss that doesn't serve anyone and only pushes us further into the pigeonhole of lore just being bland and unimaginative. But again, this is all based off the assumption that the removal of the Grimoire and the show lore button are bad things, not inherently good for the overall community. Honestly, I'd love a world and a Bungie that could deliver both, appease both communities and provide in-game lore that is in-depth while giving us access to external stories not directly present in Destiny 2's story. An example of this would be like giving us the backstory of Gaul, the Cabal, and the Red Legion in-game, but then continuing the story of Savanthun or Ziva Arath in the Grimoire. That way, both characters get the same respected production, just in different directions. We shouldn't lose the stories of the external characters that didn't fit in Destiny 1's story because they don't fit into Destiny 2's in-game world. But to be fair, I'd like to play the game, see what Steve Cotton means when he says he wants the lore to be in the game before I make a judgment call or rally the troops, pitchforks in hand. In a way, it's common courtesy. We should give these guys at Bungie a chance to deliver on their words before jumping down their throats. Never thought I'd be defending Bungie, but there you have it. At the end of the day, my opinion should only be used to help shape your interpretation of this quote-unquote controversy. Do you think the removal of the Grimoire is a bad thing for Destiny 2? Or is this what you wanted, a real story intertwined with the game to better present a better universe? I certainly don't want a repeat of Destiny 1 where the story and the cards seem to act as conflicting narratives, or as if different authors had different visions for the game's presentation. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, Joseph Staten leaving in 2014. But on the flip side, the Grimoire gave us access and insight into a universe that included such creativity and imagination it actively captivated us. And to this day, I'm still in awe by its wonder. If Bungie can truly deliver on the in-game lore to the level of depth and detail that the Grimoire provided, then we truly win, the entire community, not just the hardcore or niche content creators. But this is what I am, a niche content creator focusing on lore. And Grimoire, no Grimoire, you have my solemn promise to keep pushing out content and to be an effective storyteller. At the end of it all, what do you think? Is it good or bad for Destiny's future? Are you gonna wait to pass judgment until launch? As always, guys, more lore next week. I hope you guys have a good Memorial Day and stay safe this weekend to anyone who doesn't celebrate that holiday. I love you guys. Peace. Hey everyone, Wally here. If you'd like to support the channel further, please feel free to check out the script link, my Patreon, and the new apparel in the Spreadshirt shop, all linked down below. If you want to join the conversation on our Discord server, we allow everyone in. Like the video if you enjoyed the content, and subscribe for more.